Welcome back, friends. Didn't mean to ghost you like that.
Oh, we did not, really didn't.
You know, how can I explain myself? Things happen. I've changed, you've changed. And sometimes people change. You know, and sometimes distance is necessary, and things happen in my life and I got busy, work, but I'm back, and that's kind of the point. And I just feel like we should look forward and not backward. And if you would have me, I promise to treat you with the utmost respect and love and care and consideration. Doesn't that sound like something a nigga would come out after he goes to you? Like, girl, I feel like, why are you looking in the past? Yeah, now, baby.
Let's move on.
What?
Meanwhile, you caused a set of turmoil.
Meanwhile,
damage.
I was crashing out for 3 months because the last time I texted you was, what did you eat for lunch? And I never heard from you again. 3 months ago.
No, but can we talk about the fact that people have still been DMing me in this little period? Guys, when are y'all coming back? Are y'all doing more episodes?
No, because as they should.
Yeah.
We ghosted them.
No, 10,000%. And they saw us just doing things.
Said nothing. And then want to pop back up like if nothing happened. That is a problem. That's a problem. And I think we should, in the spirits of reflection and accountability and introspection and ownership, we should admit when we are wrong. And I think,
that's what this episode is about.
Nobody is perfect, exactly. So, welcome. No, but on a serious note, welcome back to the podcast. Welcome to Recess with DeAndre and Cameron. We are so happy to be seated here back in the studio to talk about some things. It's a new year. Happy 2025. Happy New Year.
Crazy.
How are you feeling before we really jump into obviously where we've been, all the things?
I am I've been telling everybody this so far. It doesn't really feel like a new year for me. I think because I've been so busy. I worked straight through December into Jan, so no breaks. So it doesn't really feel, I'm yet to feel like it's a new year.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm like, great, happy new year. But I'm good. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I'm extremely grateful.
That's good.
I'm in a space where I'm getting to do a lot of cool things and working on a lot of cool stuff, meeting a lot of cool people. So I'm tired, exhausted, but good, tired, and exhausted for me. Yeah, and that's really just about it. Other than I'm just working like a little worker bee. That's about it. How are you? How was your new year?
I'm good. Similar. I feel like I didn't really have a very harsh transition into 2025. So even when I feel like my close friends and family around me were very the same momentum leading up to January 1st that everybody has, and all the goals set in, and all the and I think that's good. I do feel like, I don't know, it's part of the ecosystem of life. I believe that there are certain, not to sound too metaphysical and all that, but there are certain energy shifts that we actually need in life in order to see transitions through, in order to get through seasons, in order to go through transitions. We need to kind of feel and experience those energy shifts. And I think one of those energy shifts is
the new year,
end of something into the start of something, which for us would be the new year. You know what I mean? I feel that does a lot for our psyche somehow. So I don't have a shit on people who people are oh, you shouldn't wait till that. Sometimes it's necessary. There's a true energy in the atmosphere when the year is starting up again, and when people are looking forward to something, and I think it motivates us in some ways. Obviously that cannot be the only thing that sustains you, but if it is a catalyst, then by all means, I can't be mad at that. However, for me, I think again, because a lot of my work it didn't necessarily like completely stop. A lot of projects that I was working on like went very much right into like the new year. I didn't have that same sort of momentum that everybody had, but it wasn't a bad thing. I was appreciative that there wasn't like too much to change in my routine. Like I really was able to kind of like start things back up. I took a week off, and yeah, it's kind of been me.
That's good.
Yeah. So talk to me, or let the people know, I guess, because they wouldn't know like what type of work you've been doing, how that has been, etc.
Okay, well, for those of you guys who don't know, we are freelance film, TV, digital media producers, as well as content producers, digital media, everything in that space. So I work super closely with Josiah Prasad of Twin Island Company, and we have been working on some projects. So we recently released Party, which released today, not the day that we're releasing this, but the day that we're recording this.
By Marshall.
Yeah, we did that. We've been working with Kuta and their team. So we worked on Jamtown. That's going to be coming out soon, or
by the time you see this,
it'll be out. Yeah. I think so. Just a bunch of music videos. I worked on a German TV production with Josiah in December as well.
I didn't even know about that.
I didn't tell you about that.
No.
Yeah, there's this German production company that's producing a TV series based on like musical. It's a musical TV series based on artists. They take German artists and carry them to a different culture, like a different country, where they kind of explore that country's musical scene. And well, I think they do it. I'm not sure if they did it for every episode, but in this episode they brought the artist and she made a song with a local producer. So Josiah's production company got that contract, and so we just kind of were helping him facilitate. They flew the entire production team in, and we just kind of had to be the local producers on the ground. So we did that in December. Nice. And that rolled into Party, and Party rolled into Jamtown, and Jamtown rolled into, I don't know what else I'm even doing at this point. I can't remember what I have.
But next, that's good. Yeah. You're booked, and I feel like it's good to highlight, because you know, being a freelancer and doing freelance work is not for the weak. You know, it's not particularly the most stable career path, and so I think it is worth mentioning, you know, when things are picking up, or you know, when you have those good seasons. As of course it's hectic and it's busy and whatever, but it is truly a blessing to be able to like work on projects and to be able to do the type of work that you actually love.
Absolutely. That's why I'm like, I've been telling people I'm tired and I'm exhausted, but I'm extremely grateful, because apparently I didn't know that this was a thing, but I spoke to a lot of freelance film people, and they said that there's like this dry period post Carnival, I think, like Java-ish, and it was like really down, like it was really low. It was like no work was happening. It was just a super slow time. Yeah. So to go from that into it's literally just like very wavy freelancing. So it's, when it does come, it's tiring, but I'm grateful, like, I'm just to be able to do what we love. Anytime I get stuck in 6 a.m. traffic, like on the way up, or in rush hour traffic on the way down, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm like, and that's when I'm like, thank you, Lord, for giving me all the opportunities and surrounding me with people who are of my like similar nature and like-minded, or doing similar things as me, so I can be encouraged and get these all these different opportunities, because I can't do it. Props to you guys who do the 9 to 5. Props to you guys who do the 9 to 5 and then have a business on the side. Props to you guys who do both. I can't.
No, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk to everybody about, I guess, where we've been, what's been happening, and like, you know, the reason for the very, very long hiatus that we took. recently?
Right. So when Dee and I popped out last year with the best intentions, guys, our heart is for y'all. I want y'all to know our heart is for you guys. We popped out in true Dee and Kamz fashion, doing the absolute most and the best. We were like, yeah, once we're gonna be posting once a week. We batch filmed a bunch of episodes. We were ready to go. We launched, and then life was just like,
yeah,
baby girls.
And it was so many things at the same time. Like, one, I had to travel for a month, and that was very shortly after we launched, and I think that was like the beginning of the end, because there are so many factors that were not considered when we started up, and you know, just not putting things in place. I feel like we did not prepare properly, and so fail to prepare to fail, right? And that's exactly what happened. So, you know, just so many logistical issues. Like something I could think of is like just not having enough storage. Like that was like a big thing. Like these episodes, if you all don't know, like quality means storage means space means money. You need to buy a shit ton of hard drives and SD cards, and it's just like a lot. So we actually, as much as we batch film, we lost a couple of those episodes at the same time, because I was like storing stuff on like my friends like hard drive or whatever, and they thinking I have it, and then it got deleted, and like, so it was just so ridiculous. Now thankfully we've solved some of those issues, and then in addition to issues that we could solve, another thing is just like manpower. Like editing takes a long time, and I was our primary editor in the beginning, and now we've realized, okay, well, I can't sustainably do the editing myself alone, and so Cam and I are now trying to figure out, okay, how do we split these tasks to just make it more sustainable for us to be able to put stuff out. And even with that help, we still know that, okay, weekly episodes for right now,
sorry guys,
it's just not gonna happen.
We just can't do it. We live in a capitalist society.
Yeah, I feel like we do a lot of different things, and we wear lots of different hats, and you know, I enjoy that about myself. I have a very like, my personalities are all over the place, and like I really enjoy doing multiple things. When I do one thing for too long, I get bored, so I don't mind it, but it also means that like my time is split into many different like ways. So as much as I would love to do this like more full time, it's not something that I can do right now, or we can do right now, because we gotta make money on this podcast.
It's currently not making money.
It's currently not our source of income in any way, shape, or form. So because of that, you know, we have to be realistic about what is possible for us, and hopefully again in the future we'll be able to sit and be like, guys, we found some sponsors. Again, y'all, we have ad space. We tell y'all this all the time, but like, you know, don't worry, when we get consistent we'll actually pitch it.
we'll get it together.
But in any case, you know, there's always room for growth and all of these things. So Definitely. It's not us particularly saying like we can't eventually become more consistent to like put out more episodes, because like that's the ideal, you know. But for right now, we want to still be able to do something and not just like totally give up on this, because I don't know about you, Cam, like I hear people's feedback all the time, and it's always extremely like, people are always asking for episodes, and they really enjoy the space that we've created.
I have no intentions of ever giving up Recess. It's just definitely gonna evolve, and we don't know how it'll evolve, but it'll keep evolving because we're evolutionary beings. So
for sure.
But I have no intentions of giving up this space because I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
And I love you guys, and you know, like I think that the conversations we have facilitate, and the spaces that we create are necessary for us, for our peers, and for you guys.
For sure. So yeah, so that's where we've been. That's the truth. That's, you know, not really too big, but like, again, just not wanting to compromise or sacrifice the quality of it that we put out, just to say like we're putting it out. So doing it well, but doing it sustainably.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So one of the things we wanted to talk about on today's episode is just, well, before we jump into the state of the world, I want to talk about a more fun thing, which is Carnival 2025. Boop, boop, boop. We have some real fun things planned and like people that we want to talk to and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to it. But I wanted to kind of, just chat about everything that you've been observing in music that's been coming out, just the cultural shift. I just feel like there's a lot of good energy in the atmosphere for this year. I really love it. I love what I'm seeing. I feel like our generation is really fully coming into our own in this space, and it's not overshadowed by like, no hate to the older generations, but like I feel like we really are fully engrossed in all aspects of culture within our generation, and I'm seeing how those contributions are positively affecting like the industry at large. One
of the positive things that I've experienced growing up and becoming an adult, and one of the most fulfilling things I've experienced in that space is being able to see my peers grow up and come into themselves and walk their purpose very fully, very, very iconically. Like being able to see my fellow brothers and sisters in creativity flourish and just like be amazing, and be the change makers and be the people who are like pushing the envelope. Like it's really, I don't know, I know like there are people who I don't get, like people who hate on people. I can't experience that because I get so happy and fulfilled seeing our generation just be so truthful to ourselves in the best way possible. And I feel like we in this generation, I always tell people, I think we're the best, but I obviously have a bias, but I think that we land in a place where it allows us to appreciate what was and also create something new.
For sure.
And I feel like that's something that I'm happily observing, especially in the soca industry and space, with Jimmy coining the term new calypso. And I feel like people like Teja, Denzel, Tano, Brooklyn, all of these people like who contribute to this space so heavily, really taking ownership of that new sound that honors the past, but is relevant, like stays relevant and incorporates who we are and what we are now. And it's been such a privilege to witness that. And we're both music girlies, so being able to kind of see that happen in real time, and it's good music. Like I love the things that are being created now. There's so many things to be discussed, and we'll get into some of that stuff. And of course people are like, a lot of it sounds very repetitive. Like I had a conversation with someone in the industry recently, and they were like, can we stop saying darling in songs?
I love people in darling.
And I was like I get it, but I think there's a lot to be said about the varying opinions about the space. But one thing I'm thoroughly enjoying is just seeing us own the space in a way that, and I'm someone that I call myself a Caribbean patriot. I love the Caribbean. I am like a Caribbean ambassador. I think we're amazing here. I think we need to unite and just make the world a better place. And I am also very much about cultural heritage and trying our best to preserve what is our culture, because a lot of us, like I didn't grow up listening to calypso. That's mostly because my parents just didn't play it much, and it's not like we enforce those things or those things aren't taught in school really, unless you like really delve into it and you niche into music and that kind of thing. But those types of experiences I think shape us as like nationals, like as people who are from a space appreciating the culture. And I feel like that we don't push it in more intentional ways. So growing up having to like learn about our heritage and kind of where we come from, especially as it pertains to just being a natural music consumer, like learning about calypso and being able to learn from my peers about the influences that they're now putting into their music. Again, it's just, I love it here.
Yeah,
I think
for
it's
sure.
Amazing.
I feel like the new generation of soca artists are really committed to storytelling again, and they are really adapting to, as you said, like this appreciation for what was, and really pulling that into like, Kutin is one of my favorite artists, not just because like his range is insane, by the way, especially if you really know the kind of music that he started off making, and just even his ability to adapt and to really like speak to so many different things. But also now as he's tapping into like soca, like his whole discography is really truly very impressive, and the fact that he writes his music, you know what I mean? And so when he was breaking down Jamtown and like the different calypso songs that he pulled from, it's truly amazing. Like,
yeah,
if you're hot and groovy in the soca party, like if you know, Jamtown is literally, you know, very much loosely based on hot and groovy. Like he's literally singing hot and groovy in his song, and other calypso songs as well. And Kutin does that a lot in his music, you know, aside of even his soca. He pulls from different genres as like a salute to what was. And I think that's so important, because it's something that I feel like we've observed in other genres that other people have been able to do, other artists, especially within hip-hop, rap, etc. Like they sample the shit out of everything, because there's an appreciation for building upon something versus always trying to like reinvent the wheel, which is not necessary all the time. I'm not saying it's not necessary, I'm saying it's not necessary all the time. You know, so I love that we are seeing that wave, because again, it hopefully could get, especially like the younger upcoming generation, Gen Alpha, what up, to go back a bit and to dig into the past and have an appreciation for it, and really you know, honor and salute the people that built the foundation for the things that we're able to consume and the things that we're able to enjoy now. Like, you know, without the Lord Kitcheners and the David Rudders and, you know, the Gypsies and all these people, like we would not have the soca that we know and love today, right now, the Raw Shorty Eyes, etc. So yeah, specifically 2025, I don't know, there's something in the air with respect to a lot of the groovy songs that are coming out, and I feel like it's really tapping back into that calypso space, obviously it being new calypso. And I feel like I'm really finding such a love and appreciation for these stories that are being told, like, and I think people are as well, you know what I mean? Even with like Cocoa Tea, people love that song because, I mean, Cass is usually always talking about love and women and whatever, right? But it's like a really,
there's something nostalgic about it.
Yes, and it's like a groovy love story about, you know, something very simple, like this girl I just love off, but like, you know, it's this ode to a symbolic mark of a Caribbean person, which is Cocoa Tea, you know what I mean? And that being connected to something that we all know and can relate to, which is love. And I think those like little symbolic truths are really, it enhances our experience of music and our ability to enjoy it and to understand it and to relate with one another so much more than, you know, the regular wine and jam that we are like familiar with. Like, that's the beautiful thing, and that's, I think, what other genres have been able to do. I think it was a David Rudder interview that I was looking at where he was talking about, you know, I don't know if it was, I think it was, but it was an artist I was listening to, and they were speaking about, you know, that, you know, unfortunately soca is the happy genre, and so you are almost bound to these happy feelings within the genre that other genres don't have to abide by. Like hip-hop is able to be happy, but it's also able to be dark, it's also able to be sad,
angry, everything.
Exactly.
They experience, you know,
the whole R&B to Afrobeats
to reggae.
Like there's a range of emotions that is experienced and expressed in those genres, versus soca feels so limited to these feelings of happiness. And I remember when Nyla Blackman said that, everybody was like, what are you talking about? Because I think it's just the way she worded it, but I remember years ago when we first started research, we spoke about this, but she tweeted, you know, why must soca be a happy genre? And she got so much backlash, but I don't think people were ready to unpack,
have that conversation,
what was really being said in that tweet. And it was really more so about, you know, the monolith that we have created within soca, which is that it needs to only and always be happy. And I think if we look past those things, we're able to really dig deep and see, like, okay, there's so much more to just one like jumpy happy feeling.
We talk about this sometimes where we say the idea that, and this happened for like a myriad of reasons historically, that we ended up treating soca as a season rather than a genre. And that's kind of, I think, where that was coming from. And I think that's why I appreciate that voice song. What was the name of that one? The sad one. He released a song.
Oh, yeah.
Pray for me.
Yes.
Pray for me. And I was just like, it was so good. I love that song. And the song is so relatable because it talks about the difficulties of being a man, of struggling, even with your mental health. Anxiety, yeah. I think the
very good.
I think it's so necessary for us to start to broaden our use of soca and the types of things that we tackle and that we talk about in the genre, so that we can expand, so that more people can start to relate it. Because we always talk about how, you know, soca needs to be on a global stage and we want soca to be out there, we want soca to be international and internationally recognized, but it's one of the genres that is so limited in emotion and experience that a lot of people may not always be able to relate to the things that we're talking about in the genre. So being able to kind of expand that emotional bandwidth to say this genre can also experience this type of like darkness or pain or just emotion, you know, that we experience as everyday people. I think that's a step in the right direction, which is why I really love that song, because it really just talks about being human. And I think it was a good, let's start to, you know, kind of go here.
It challenges us as well, right?
Yeah.
To walk away from the formula that we have gotten so accustomed to, which I find more so in the power soca category especially. There is a particular type of formula that of course works. It works for the stage, it works for the road, but if we want to expand beyond the carnival season, then the formula must change outside of that season. There is a formula for the road, of course. There's a formula for the stage, and even that has been almost disproved in a way when Michael's DNA won road match, right? Because for the masses, they firmly believed, well, I can't say any masses because they won, but for there's a lot of discourse around the fact that DNA is not a road match, it is not for the stage. Yet and still,
it still won.
We saw that is not the voice of the majority. That is not how we all feel about it. There's clearly space for more than just like the regular old super hype formula that we know, right? So as much as, of course, like we all have different opinions, and it doesn't mean that a DNA has to always be road match, but the point is, I think we really do have to reconsider how we view this formula of, you know, how soca is made and how soca is done. And obviously a lot of producers have already begun doing that, you know, specifically Tano being like one of my favorite producers right now. He's truly, I think there's just this revival of soca music and new calypso that he is tapping into, and it is, I don't know, it's so genius to me. I don't know. We need to speak to Tano because
maybe
he is doing the things.
Alright guys, so it's game time. We have a very fun, at least in my opinion, I think this game is going to be hella fun. This game is called Soca Scrolls. So the premise of the game is that the opposing host has to guess the soca song based on the old English version of the lyrics.
Correct.
So we about to get into it. I can't wait to see if you guys guess right. All we folk art gathered upon the land. We stand united, hand in hand. Our tale unfolds neath heavens glowing. 'Tis Savannah morn, Juve showing. The dawn doth break, the crowds do call. Prepare thyself for one and all.
Is this Savannah Grass?
It is! Savannah.
Because you said Savannah, and I was like,
those
and I was trying to like also unpack the like context
right
of what you're saying, because I would never be able to retranslate it into the actual
lyrics. We all on the ground, yeah. We holding it down, yeah. It's Savannah
so many ways to say that. That's freaking crazy. Should mine peace of mind be risked, tell the devil seeketh, but he findeth me not. I tarry not, yet where I wish to be. Therefore, trouble me not with thy burdens. Nay, nay, for the year 2020 bore grievous weight, and I shall lose no slumber or any soul. Hast thou not noticed? I seek goal and prospering paths. Should thou conceal ill designs, hear mine decree with no uncertainty.
I know it's a voice song. I'm just trying to remember which one.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I need to know which one of these songs have 2020 in it. Shoot. I'm singing it. Is the title I'm trying to remember?
I said it in my spiel.
In your spiel. Gosh. Peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was wondering.
Good job.
I was like, is it peace of mind? Great. Okay. 1 point. Got it. Great. I thought I was gonna get none, so that's great. Dearest, don thy garments sweet. For this eve merriment we shall meet. I know this be the custom true, to dance till morns bring skies anew. Yeah. Hot and lively.
I already know, but I just want you to keep going.
Dost thou not see? Behold what Soka hath done to we. Once more we are caught in a merry snare, a scene most grand beyond compare. Pray, when thou dost cast it back on me, all burdens vanish, we are carefree. Let us whirl and prance till night's decay. All the day we revel and play, mark the rhythm as it doth sway. 'Tis a melody to steal thy heart. Come closer, love, lest ne'er depart.
Shout out like
Ding, 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 ding.
and do it everything. Take to fall in love, baby. All like we done it. I can't believe
That's crazy.
that translation. It's so hilarious.
Dearest, don thy garments sweet.
That's crazy. Pray, whither shall I journey without thee, mine dearest maid? Mine soul is burdened heavily when thou dost sway and dance before me. Mine heart crieth out for thee. Nah, 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 nah. Behold, how grievously I yearn for thee. Nah, 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 nah. Each night and day I pine for thee. Nah, 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 nah. Thou hast ensnared mine heart. I am lost in longing. Nah, 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 nah. I can't do any other verse because you will get it.
And I'm just like, what other song has na 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 in it? And I'm just like, it's not coming in my brain. Again.
I'm like, no, I'm humming and you're like,
where's I go? Oh, wait, pause the song. My darling, it's pressure for so. When you ain't back on me. That's what the party song? Na 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 na. Oh, I'm missing you. Na na na
na na.
Wait, boy, that was hard.
No, that was really hard. Cause there's no specific context of like a soca song that would make you think about like a specific song. It's just more like he's just saying.
And why's the only na 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 come into my head? Na 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 na. And I'm like, it can't be that song.
But no,
it's not that song at all. So I knew it wasn't that.
Yeah, and it's just like, what is he saying?
I should have known that na 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 because Luna's be singing that song all the time.
Yeah, I would honestly when I get at it, but it's like, pray whither shall I journey without thee, mine dearest maid. I would have never known what the hell are you talking about.
That's crazy. When we dost wander yond, 'tis a sea of affection vast.
Wait, I know exactly what song this is. Hold on, go ahead.
All of we aligneth to stars.
Yeah,
Headcast.
Go ahead.
Pray let us frolic. Take thy chance, do not be melancholic. With me thou shalt revel till the morn doth break. Behold, the moon hath lain in slumber's wake. Say to them, we departeth not till the last drop of mirth.
I know exactly what
Madness reigneth in this merry court.
Say it all over again, one more time.
When we dost wander yond, 'tis a sea of affection.
So start again. You see when you say that phrase, I know exactly.
When we dost wander yond, 'tis a sea of affection vast.
No. I did that already. So
all of we aligneth to stars o'ercast. Pray, let us frolic. Take thy chance, do not be melancholic. With me thou shalt revel till the morn doth break. Behold, the moon hath lain in slumber's wake.
Oh, Mikal, Taja, is it DNA?
Yeah. Let me
emphasize. I said I know exactly what, but it did not.
No, it did not give that.
At first, I thought it was Savannah Grass, but then I was like, oh, I did that already. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, but it still sounds so familiar, deeply familiar in my spirit. Wow. Okay, that was good. I tell mine wife, I adore thy spirit, and thou shouldst join the throng. She sends invitations to all we cherish. Now we number 40 strong. Some on the left, some on the right, we journey through the town. Mine kin desire to join the revelry, but I declare, I shall see thee upon mine return. This time I shall return late, going from morn till last lap, all vigour straight. The whole year I labour hard, thou knowest not how long I've awaited. So when those 2 days does come around, this time is mine to emerge and abound. Mine time, you're not gonna know what the F this is at all. Mine time to roam about. Mine time to seize. Stop and tell us in the comments if you were able to get these before we were. Mine time to roam about. Mine time to seize joy and revel throughout this lengthy route. Marching with mine comrades, we move not with mere Cub Scouts. Dancing with maidens from east, west, north and south. It is our day, it is our day, it is our day.
Carnival contract?
Yes! Good.
Cub Scouts.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that's so random.
That's the only song that has Cub Scouts in it.
Really? Well, how do you even know that? I wouldn't know.
There's no other Carnival song I know that has Cub Scouts in it.
Bungee, Garland, Carnival.
Me and Carnival have a contract.
The first line you would have known, it literally says, I and Carnival hold a binding pact. I was like, I couldn't read that for you to be like, Carnival contract.
I got it immediately.
Really?
It said my wife. And
but you know that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Immediately I was like,
because I was like, my wife.
Yeah.
I was like, who talking about their wife? I should have gotten that. You're right.
Bungee.
You really be talking about her.
You really talk about her, and I love that.
Love that for them. All right, guys, and that's it for Soca Scrolls. You guys, please let us know in the comments if you're able to. I don't think we
did too badly.
No, we both. Technically, we both got 3. I had a lot of help on that second one.
Yeah, and you helped me with the last one. When you said,
but we're both winners.
Yeah, I think we did better than we expected to.
No, absolutely, that was actually really tough. Like,
I enjoyed it.
That was so fun. Let us know in the comments if you guys are able to guess these songs before us, for sure. If you guys decide to play this at your next games night, please take a video and send it to us. Tag us.
Recess.
Yeah.
With DK. I forgot our ads already.
Recess with DK.
Tag us on Instagram. Tag us in your stories or TikToks or whatever at Recess with DK. But on a less positive note, or a more controversial note, you had a tweet that you read for me that I would love for us to
pull it up for you.
Chat a little bit more about.
Right, so I don't know if you guys know, the story, but there is, I think a lot of us are very familiar with the Big Links rhythm that is currently circulating by Full Blown Entertainment. Shout you guys out. And there was some controversy surrounding the fact that Trinidad Killer, I don't know what the story is, guys, so don't crucify me, but I believe I don't know if it's that he requested to be on the rhythm and got denied, or if it's that he just decided to do a version of his own.
Right.
But
either way, he did
it without Full Blown Entertainment's permission. So he did it and he put it out, and we're seeing, as we normally see in certain scenarios, we see everybody show their true colors by sharing their various opinions about the scenario. So we do have people who are saying that outrightly, like, defending Full Blown Entertainment, Trinidad Killer's wrong, that's copyright infringement, is he crazy, we can't be standing for this, etc., etc. But then there are people on the other side of the argument who are just like,
yeah, like,
is it
freedom of expression? I've heard that. And you know, it's a very interesting, like, weighted conversation. So you saw this post that you were telling me about.
Yes, so I'm gonna read it for you guys. So the person said, yes, Trinidad Killer is wrong. Also, in brackets, not but, today I played 8 soca songs from different artists and producers between 2023 to 2025 that song the same as the Big Links rhythm minus the intro. They have slightly different intros, then revert to the same, in brackets, sorry to say predictable / boring, French Caribbean inspired guitar beat / production we hear often. Is it infringement too when so many producers replicate that same production with a slight twist in the first 10 to 15 seconds? Maybe a sprinkle of an additional instrument here and there? Genuine question. When people do this with other genres, a court case sure come, but it's so common here. And then they said, also in my dictatorships, rhythms will be banned from soca. I miss when everybody had their own beats to ride. I'm no musician, but I do have ears and I do know when I'm hearing the same thing over and over. So that, I feel like that is a conversation that has been popping up as of late with the rise of groovy soca. And even in, like, the production space, there's this thing, like, producers make fun of people, and, like, it's a whole conversation because there's this thing called splice.
And it's not just groovy, it's also power soca that they do the rhythm. Yes,
there's this thing called splice where they have, like, different production loops, and you can, like, use a loop wholesale off of there, and a lot of producers use splice. And there's this conversation surrounding the fact that, like, especially producers who aren't necessarily musicians as well, kind of using these tools often.
Right.
And the idea that there is not a lot of creativity or there's a lot of repetition in the space because everything kind of is starting to sound the same to some people. And I thought that this conversation was interesting because she brings up the fact that, okay, yes, copyright infringement, yes, you can't wholesale take somebody's thing, but is there any accountability for the people who are, quote unquote, creating music that sounds the same to music that's been created anyways?
I think, one, going back to the whole thing about formulas, it's something that we know and love and are very much accustomed to. Does that mean because we know and love something, it means that we have to, like, keep it in rotation? We have to keep the same thing going all the time? I don't think so. And I think if there's, like, room to grow and room to expand in certain ways, that we can. And it's something that it did cross my mind at some point, like, you know, where did this trend of, like, 5 songs, 6 songs in a rhythm, like, where did that stem from? Like, I would love to speak to a producer about, like, you know, where does that come from? And, like, also, is that something that people will eventually get tired of?
The thing is, I can only speak from myself as, like, a music consumer because I don't party a lot, so I can't say, like, within that setting if that's something that I get fed up of. But as a music consumer, I listen to rhythms, but I always tend to find that one favorite on the rhythm and just end up listening to that and kind of discard the rest.
That's the next thing too with rhythms, that it's not often that all of these songs are as popular. So most times, like you said, only about 1 or 2 of them will be in rotation anyway. I find though that it just so happens that this year, I'm not saying this is the only year that has happened, but I feel like especially this year, with of course the full-blown Big Links rhythm,
all these songs are actually quite
all good. Of these songs are really good.
Yeah.
And so that is a really big example for 2025 especially, of a rhythm that you will be hearing often, because it's also very, very, very big, well-known artists. It's Kes and Marshall. It's almost like a double-edged sword, because it's like, okay, you want good music, and this is kind of how it works, right? Like, a producer drops a rhythm and you sing on it. Like, that's kind of how it goes. So I don't know. And I think too, when you think about the way that, again, like, just this music, especially in this season for right now, is made for Carnival. It's made for parties, it's made for events, and for the road especially. So when you think about the way that it works, the way that DJs mix, and the way that they, you know, put together a set, etc., for the road, that's kind of how they do it. Like, they flow from, like, you know, rhythm into rhythm, and they kind of use that to kind of drive the energy forward. So I feel like in that way rhythms do work, in my opinion.
Yeah, I always think that there's discourse to be had, and there are conversations that are necessary. And I think as creative people, as just people in general who consume products and services and all of those things, it's important for us to, like, analyze things and, you know, have opinions on things. I think for me, I just be happy. I think because, well, I personally know Kevon and Corey, and they've been a part of the industry for a really, really long time. Like, their catalog is quite literally very insane.
Yes, I saw a list of the songs that they've written.
Yeah.
And again, I would love to talk to them eventually as well, but, like, they've written so many of our favorite songs.
Yeah, they've written a lot of y'all's favorite songs.
Yeah.
And to see them kind of finally receive the level of success or, like, recognition or just enjoyment of their music as artists as well as producers in this space is just very, like, I'm just happy for them. Like, I'm just grateful that, like, this is occurring for them. And I think that's overshadowing most of my, I guess, objective analytical thoughts about the experience. But it's the same way I feel about Tano as well. Like, I'm just happy that my friends are creating music that people are enjoying, and I'm just grateful that people are also enjoying what they're creating, you know? So I think I'm in this space where I'm just like, I'm just happy that people are happy. Like, I'm just excited that we're kind of all experiencing these really good things. But I always want to be able to analyze things critically and be like, okay, is this something that we kind of need to, while we're celebrating, also kind of be mindful of, and not get into this space or place where we are really not challenging ourselves creatively. But I don't know if we've gotten there yet. Like, I don't know if we're at the place right now where it's like really bad, where we need to say, guys, we need a revolution of music that is contrary to this because everything is just sounding the same. We live in a loop. I don't know if we've reached there yet. If we have, I'm blissfully living in the loop. Like, people say that Voice makes the same song over and over again. But Voice can make the same song over and over again. I love every single one.
That's how I feel as well.
I love every single one.
In a way, I feel like Marshall does that a lot too. An artist does have a sound, and it's either you kind of like that sound or you don't like that sound, and it's okay if you don't, or maybe you've gotten tired of it. That's okay to say. But again, like, kind of asking an artist to entirely change his style or who he is, to me, doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, Junction and Jamtown
have a similar
sort of
sound
and vibe, exactly, to me. But it's Kutain sound, you know what I mean? And it's two different songs, and I appreciate both of them for what they are, but I also understand that it's going to sound like Kutain because it's him. You know what I mean? I don't know, and I don't know if that's just us being naive and, like, not thinking critically enough or whatever. But for all our music critics out there, you can feel free to disagree with us. We love discourse. Just keep it respectful, because I do fight. but I fight. But you know, let us know how you feel. We don't care to disagree.
Yeah.
We
don't care to agree.
Yeah, we don't
everybody.
care to agree with everybody. Like, that's not our objective with this platform.
I actually do want to have some discourse surrounding this topic because I know a lot of people are very opinionated about it. Just also, I want us as a premise in recess, anytime you're talking to us, I'm coming to you with respect, you come to us with respect. We're looking to have positive discourse because a lot of us in the Caribbean and Trinidad, we don't know how to disagree properly. And that's a big thing for me. I know how to disagree well.
And we don't do that over here on these ends. I need y'all to know, keep it P for peaceful, keep it P for positive. Aight? Because like I said, Cara don't fight, but I just fight. I really do.
So yeah, anyway, I would love to hear what you guys would have to
tell
say
us
about
how y'all feel for real. On a serious note, the reality is IP. Copyright infringement is copyright infringement. And unfortunately, you know, again, I want to have eventually for us to, you know, be able to talk to like a lawyer on the show as well. Because I think it's something that we just do not talk about enough. What are our rights as creatives? What are our intellectual property rights as it relates to the law of Trinidad and Tobago specifically? And, you know, how do we defend that, right? Because, yes, y'all could have how many opinions y'all want, but the law is the law, right? So if there is IP law that can defend full-blown interest, then they have every right
to pursue that,
to protect their intellectual property. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the same as physical property. Somebody come and squat on your land, what are you gonna do? Leave them there and say, well, they have freedom of living on my property because they exist. That don't make no sense. So if I make something, if I create something, if I spend my time or whatever on it, it is mine. It belongs to me. Right? And so there's a proper process and procedure, and I think that the way forward as we talk about progression, especially in the creative industry, is to be able to standardize the way that we go about these things. Like, absolutely, it's not just like it can't be helter-skelter willy-nilly all over the place. Like, that does not work as it relates to us creating a sustainable system and industry for one another to be able to benefit from, right?
I think there are a lot of conversations to be had, and I'm excited that we have some plans to facilitate those types of conversations.
Yeah, for sure.
With the people that we're bringing on. So also, if you guys have any ideas for anybody that you guys would want us to talk to, whether it be producers, lawyers, anything in the industry, any conversations you want us to have, please don't hesitate to either DM us, email us, comment, whatever you guys want to do, and let us know the kinds of conversations that you guys want us to facilitate. So we'll be bringing on some dope people in this space to have some good conversations. Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Jinx! Double jinx again? Okay, we didn't do that. Okay, class. It's a wrap. See y'all next episode.